All right, February 24th, chest day, workout breakdown, first week of the Urban Legend training. I'm going to go over that last. I like, obviously, both of these. Urban Legend, of course, being quite specific. But starting with the actual workout, again, we're coming towards the end of the month here. I think it's become pretty evident, especially from our perspective, the trainer's perspective, a personal level and from the membership level. People are getting more comfortable understanding what the point of this entire month was. Keep in mind, the goal is to lift the same amount of volume, the same weights as that we typically do from our foundational rep count stance, like 8 to 12 for the most part. Our same percentages, that 50 to 60%, with an elevated heart rate. So a big focus on the transition and getting it under control, or getting a more control of your pace. So pace control is a big piece of this. Again, from a personal perspective, I've gotten significantly better at this throughout the course of the month, right? We don't put a ton of time into this normally without the monthly emphasis. And I think some people are still a little, not sure we pay attention to the numbers. At the end of the day, like the floor amount of lifting we're doing here is about 50%, meaning like even with all this aerobic stuff, interwoven between our sets, we're still 50-50 in terms of the amount of time that you're spending. And I'm doing my best to make sure that you guys are still getting your 13, 14, 15, sometimes more sets of the particular muscle group, which is a lot of volume. It just feels like more cardio because it's interwoven the entire time and not just kind of separate on another block. So continue to work on this. It's an invaluable asset, the ability to ping pong back and forth and maintain kind of that floor output. But you guys are going to do your chest press, incline tricep press, and flat bench, fly press. Again, standard sets, standard rep counts. Just your rest is going to be a little bit different. So the whole goal is obviously to get you with an elevated heart rate into the next set. So you guys will actually do a set of chest press, take 40 seconds off, so you have to clock that immediately, and then at that 40-second mark, you'll go do your 6 or 8 calories, female, male, and then transition directly into your second set. So you'll get a bit of a pause after the set, but the goal is to then move directly into the next set with an elevated heart rate coming off of that bike. And again, 6 to 8 calories is short enough that you could be, rather explosive if you want. I didn't put a floor concept on that. It's really just going to come down to you guys having the individual awareness to bike at a particular output that allows you to transition into the next set accordingly. So I'm actually kind of excited about this block. I'm interested to see the kind of weights that can be moved here and how well people transition and ping pong back and forth. The second block, again, push-up variations on the left-hand side, hardest to easiest here. And then your goal is to take the remaining 15 minutes and get as far down this ladder as you can. So 27 push-ups, 27 of your choice of core, 27 calorie skied, and then obviously 21 all the way down, 15-9 across the board. I would imagine people will be switching out their push-up variation as they go, but again, for reference, it's right there if you were unsure. And the beauty of this, kind of like the hidden gem here, is that obviously on the ski erg, a lot of triceps tend to be involved. So transition into the second round of push-ups and further is going to be pretty hard for sure, I would imagine. And depending on the core choice you pick, right? Like you do something like rollouts on top of it, you are hammering your triceps. So that'll be interesting to see kind of what people pick. And if you guys, if you watch the videos, you get this little nuggets here. If you don't watch the videos, people are just coming out and be flying in the dark here, and it'll be fun to see some of the combinations that people choose. Now, Urban Legend training, obviously been hyping this up, very excited about it. Remember, this is open to everybody and anybody can do this. It's similar to like a cycle, if you want to work on chest, then it would be smart for you guys over the next 8 weeks to kind of make sure you do this every chest day. And I can't highlight enough that it's going to be incredibly specific and redundant in terms of like the things that you're doing, right? Urban Legend, as I've gone over in previous videos, is a very specific workout. So there's not a lot of reason to deviate off the path here. We're going to stick to, for the most part, the things that you're going to do in Urban Legend. And then every now and then, when applicable, I will add in, and you'll see this in future workouts as we've gotten a little bit into March. You'll see supplementary lifts where I think it will actually be beneficial to add them in. But for the most part, it's just volume. And if you watch my Urban Legend training video, the first 2 weeks are pretty volume intensive. So you guys are going to have 60 chest press, flat bench. The goal is obviously, like, if you're aiming for the black tier of Urban Legend, that's 30s for females. Your goal is obviously to do as much of these 60s really with 35s, a weight class up, maybe even heavier if you have the ability to do so, and then kind of windle your way down to 30s, but do as much as you can at your tier or higher. And then again, the push-ups, 50 of them right after the chest press. So obviously opposite Urban Legend, but the volume is there. And then it doesn't slow down, right? You're going to go into 5 rounds, and I'm not giving any ranges on Urban Legend training. Like, we're not catering to all demographics here. Like Urban Legend is Urban Legend. So there's no reason for me to change the volume and the distances of any of these things. At the end of the day, we all have to do the same workout, right? The reps don't change during the Urban Legend. So if you're somebody who's maybe new to it or is like starting from square one, like your expectation would be you're not going to finish all this. Like you're not going to get through all this. It's going to be very challenging to get through this type of volume. And that's kind of the goal. So really, I would just say chip away. We got 8 weeks to see improvement, which you will with this level specificness. And again, end all be all really should be like form. Like worst case scenario, we get to the end of the 8 weeks, you're gonna get better at these things, like guaranteed. Like I am 100% confident in that. But we want to get better at them and increase our floor. And increasing our floor is an extension of our foundation. And our foundation is through the integrity of the movements and making sure that everything is done from a technical standpoint as efficiently and as correctly as possible. So, if you are struggling with this type of volume, just constantly pay attention to form, have some self-awareness of positioning of your hands on push-ups and your line of motion on the chest press. And even if you have to go down in weight, like you can still work on power output and all the little things that we talk about via repetition and volume to get as efficient as possible at X. So like I said, this is similar to what the first 2 weeks of Urban Legend are going to look like. Tons of volume, tons of the same movements. Occasionally supplemental stuff will be roped in. But again, this is kind of what you need to do if you want to get really specific with a particular event, which is what we're trying to do. So I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to see how many people participate in this. Keep in mind, there'll be a chest day, shoulder day, leg day, Urban Legend training every single week leading all the way to April 25th, which is the actual Urban Legend. So if you guys have questions, obviously holler. Good luck.